Hi YouTube, welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. So I made a part one of this video, and if you didn't watch it, you can go back and watch it, or else maybe this video might not make a lot of sense. But these resin pieces are the inspiration for the design of this video. Here's what they look like a little bit closer up. And so these resin pieces are made with real dried flowers. And maybe I'll make another video about the new resin pieces that I've made. So these here are the leaves and flowers that I'm going to be using for this design. And so I actually colored and painted my nails with gel polish off camera just because this video would take too long. I think I am going to be stamping on the two lighter pink nails. My thumb, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I might just wait for it to grow out a little bit and then I'll soak it off. But for right now, this is what we have. And I think I'm going to be doing a little bit of stamping with some new stamping plates that I got recently. So, but there might be a part 3 of this video because I think it'll just be too long. So I'd rather do a part 3. And what I am doing here is I am taking my nail file and I'm gently going to kind of feather back and forth and kind of buff out this nail. I want to remove the shine. Although there's a top coat already on this nail, I understand that, but I really want this base coat to kind of stick on to my nail, and also I want to give the flower something to stick to. You do want to make sure that you remove the nail dust before you add your base coat. So now I'm dusting it off, removing the nail dust, making sure that it is free of nail dust before I add the base coat. And when I add the base coat, it's just going to be a really thin layer. So I kind of do my nails the same, and I also kind of do resin pieces the same, like if I were doing nails. So the resin pieces need a couple steps. You have to do layers, and I kind of think that that's the same thing with nails. With nails, you have to do layers, so they're kind of similar. So what I want is I wanted kind of a base for the nails, or for the flowers to hold on to. So that's why I did this step. So now I'm opening up the flowers, and I'm going to try to see what colors I want, what textures I wanted. I'm going to have to cut up the flower because it's way too big to fit on my nail. So there I chose the flowers that I wanted, and in a little bit I'm going to cut a flower up so that it fits on my nail. Just a little side note, if you're wondering, I did not cure the gel on my nail. It is still wet. And yes, you do see me try to struggle to pick up the flower with the wax pencil, so I end up picking up with my finger because it was easier that way. So I'm just using my wax pen, so I find it a little bit easier to pick up the flowers, and in a minute you'll see that I actually pick up the bigger piece with my fingers. It was just a lot easier that way because the wax pencil wasn't wanting to pick up that big piece. Wax pencils are mostly used for rhinestones and things, but here I am trying to place the flower right on my nail, and it'll take a few minutes. I'll move it around and I'll try to apply gel. I'm really kind of slowly at first. I wanted to kind of bring out the really, the natural look of this flower, but it's kind of hard because you don't want to leave, the natural flower exposed, just like in a resin piece, because it probably will rip, right, and fall off or something if you don't completely encapsulate it. So you see me here turning it around, And in a little bit, I'll take a smaller brush with some UV builder, gel builder on it, and I'll start going in between the leaves, or the petals, excuse me, of the flower. I'm trying to push them down as much as I can, very, very gently. And you see me here using my fingers so that I can try and stick down the flower as best as possible without touching the gel. So I'm just taking the UV gel builder with a really tiny brush, as you can see, and I'm just going to go in between the petals and add some UV gel where I feel is necessary. So at this point, I'm just curing the nail for 60 seconds. So I'd add gel and cure it, and then add gel and cure it, and I would just keep doing that, making sure that the nail didn't get too bulky. But like I said earlier in the video, I made sure that I filed down the sides off camera to make sure that the nail went back to the shape that I had. As you know, when you add nail art rhinestones, the nail will tend to be, to get a little bit more bulky. So that's why when I initially do the nail in the gel color, I try to not have the nail be so bulky, just because you're going to be adding more on top of it if you are. So the nail is going to get thicker, right? Because you're adding stuff on top of it. So that's why I try and make sure that the nail is not as thick initially. So for some extra adhesion, I'm going to be using this rhinestone glue gel.